So when it comes to repairing a relationship and reestablishing attraction, it's not just about being a nice guy, nice girl. It's not just about building what we call emotional safety. There are other elements that a partner needs to buy into in order to cultivate a dynamic that works for you both. So in this video, I want to talk about ambition. I want to talk about how it impacts relationship repair and relationship growth, and why it's absolutely essential to lead a relationship moving forward. So there's a lot of advice online. I've spoken about this a lot, about this X-back advice and this sort of performative alpha grind set kind of attitude towards relationships. Now, I've thrown a lot of criticism its way. However, there are elements of what is being said that is actually correct. So I want to talk about it in this video. So when it comes to the main elements of relationships, I've spoken about this before, but there are three main elements. There are emotional safety, intellectual intimacy, and goal synergy. It's only when all three of these elements are growing that a relationship will be headed in the right direction. Now, I've spoken a lot about emotional safety on this channel, but I want to talk a little bit more today about goal synergy and intellectual intimacy, and how ambition falls into that, and why it's so crucial for relationship repair, especially if you're trying to repair the relationship moving forward. One of the biggest traps that people fall into when a breakup has happened is falling into this kind of needy state, where a relationship is broken up and then suddenly you fall into this state where everything in your life becomes about that one person. Now, this can feel like a natural thing to do. It can feel like I've realized that I've lost something so important and now I want to fight to get it back. The problem is that once the dynamic has changed, suddenly this neediness, this centering of your entire life being your partner, puts a lot of pressure on your partner and actually reduces attraction. Because what it tells your partner is that you see yourself as nothing unless your partner is there. What this kind of does is it tells your partner that they were the one that brought value to the relationship. You're essentially saying, I am nothing without you, therefore I have nothing to bring to this relationship. Unless I have you, I am worthless. And what it kind of shows your partner is that if you can't even be your biggest cheerleader, if you can't even believe in yourself and your value and where you want to go, then it's very difficult for anyone else to buy into it. You know, if you think about it this way, imagine you went to a job interview and they were like, hey, what do you think that you could bring to this role? Like, what skills and talents? And then you were just like, oh, I would be nothing. Unless I worked for you, Mr. Google, I would be absolutely worthless. It wouldn't make you a very attractive candidate for the job, right? You have to bring some sort of value. So the reason why I'm saying this is that having ambition is not about achieving right now, but it's about having a clear plan on who you want to be, how you want to show up, and where the potential relationship could be. If your partner has stepped out of the relationship, it's going to be very difficult to inspire a vision of an incredible relationship without belief in yourself and some ambition as to where you would like to be, who you would like to become, and where you're headed. So before I jump into all of this, there is something to be really careful of when it comes to ambition. And I want you to stick around until the end, because everything that I'm just about to say is going to hinge on what I'm going to break down at the end. So the biggest shift is from needing to choosing. So like I said, the biggest repellent when it comes to a relationship is desperation. Ambition serves as the ultimate anti-desperation tool because it shifts you away from a single person onto a singular mission. And that is very different. So when you're driven by a goal, not just career, fitness, or things like that, but a goal as who you are as a person, as your identity, then your ex or your partner is no longer the center of your universe. And this is really important because this shift in focus is naturally attractive because it signals that you don't need them to be happy. That doesn't mean that you don't want them and you don't want to be in a relationship with them, but it shifts away from need onto choice. What this does is it cultivates emotional independence. So having ambition, cultivating a clear direction for yourself demonstrates that you're capable of generating your own dopamine through achievement. People are drawn to those who are self-sufficient and emotionally stable. And having ambition is a key factor to that. What it means is that your emotions, your path forward is not completely dependent on one person. Because if you think about it, that is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for your ex to essentially be the center of your world and all of your emotions. So the second point I want to make when it comes to cultivating ambition within yourself in order to repair a relationship is reestablishing value. So if your partner has broken up with you, they usually leave because they feel like they have outgrown the relationship or that the relationship's value has stagnated. Cultivating ambition creates a potential new and improved version of you that your partner or ex-partner hasn't necessarily met yet, that maybe you haven't even met yet. It starts the ball rolling for your potential. And that is really important when it comes to repairing a relationship and growing in order to cultivate a healthy relationship. It creates a gap between who you are now and who you will become. So when you cultivate ambition, you start to grow a path forward, you start to achieve things, right? You have a process and you start to generate outcomes. Your ex or your partner start to see the gap between who you were and who you are becoming. And this creates curiosity. Your partner will start to wonder if maybe they've made a mistake by letting go of someone who is clearly on an upward trajectory. And as you cultivate ambition, what happens is you start to generate your own validation from what you do. You don't look for validation from other people, from external things. You start to generate validation internally through your process. And what this does is this, again, relieves the pressure of your partner needing to validate you and who you are. It's not reliant on them. It means that you're not putting any sort of emotional burden on them. Doesn't mean it's not nice, but it means that you're able to cultivate your own validation. You don't need external validation. But what this also does is this breaks an old pattern. So a lot of breakups happen because the relationship became predictable. There was a pattern that happened that your partner wanted to break out of, whether it was constant arguments or invalidation, whatever it was. Once a pattern has been broken, this introduces a new element of unpredictability, which kind of opens up the opportunities for you and therefore the relationship to be seen in a different way. It opens up a whole new future because this pattern has been broken. So it sends out growth signals to your partner without you telling them, without you showing off, without you bragging. If you start to cultivate ambition within yourself, then this will impact everything that you do. You will get different outcomes. You will carry yourself differently. You will do things differently. This sends out growth signals, not just to your partner or your ex-partner, but to your friends, your family. You will start to act differently because you have a new kind of North Star. So this ambition is really important in not just building your self-efficacy, but also for creating a new potential future for yourself. All of this part of what we call intellectual intimacy. So this is the elements of the relationship dynamic that is all about trust, respect, and growth. It's hard for anyone to buy into a relationship if there is no potential for growth. When we imagine a future with a partner, we're not imagining a future that is exactly like what we are right now. There needs to be the potential for growth in the relationship. So for example, if you think about when you first meet a partner, you go on a first couple of dates, you're not imagining a future where it's, we will do this every day for the rest of our life and have this exact same conversation. You're imagining all of the potential new conversations, new things to do together, the careers that you will both develop and grow, the life that you will build and grow. Cultivating ambition is really important in a relationship because it gives both of you more of an insight into a potential future that is strong for you both. It's all about becoming the version of yourself that is inherently magnetic, not as a tactic to win your ex back, raising your standards and having a North Star to head towards. That is not specifically your ex-partner. Because the problem is, and this is what I was talking about at the start of the video, if you are only working hard, if you are only being ambitious, cultivating higher standards within yourself just to be noticed or just for fuel to brag about to your partner or ex-partner, then this will backfire. Because what this tells your partner is that you are still emotionally dependent on their validation. You're only doing this so that you can say something to them and they can say, good job. If you are just making performative changes, which almost always happens when you're trying to repair a relationship. I've actually done a deeper dive video, which I'll link to up above and in the description down below. But when your partner does reject you initially, then it will become very clear whether you are making these changes for real or whether you're just making these changes to hear something nice from your partner or to try to impress them. So it's really important to cultivate authentic ambition. Authentic ambition is all about the internal drive to expand your own life because you value yourself, not because you're trying to show somebody else. Again, this is shifting from seeking a partner to seeking a purpose. Having a purpose, an overall purpose on who you want to be and who you want to become is really important because that's easier for a partner to buy into. If you are only buying into them as a partner, they're already bought into themselves. So you're not really adding much when it comes to the relationship. So it's difficult to buy into somebody's vision of a life when you're the only thing in it. So I want to be really clear that even though Hollywood will tell us that you need to make this one person your entire life, that backfires. It sounds romantic, it sounds nice, but at the end of the day, it doesn't add value to a relationship. And that is what a relationship is all about. It's about being greater than the sum of your parts. So there's a big difference between performative versus authentic ambition. There's obviously only so much that I can dig into in a YouTube video, but if you do want to join us and you want to start your journey into understanding relationships more and cultivating them through self-growth, then join my relationship bootcamp where you'll learn the same fundamental steps that all of my members use to start turning their relationships around. All you have to do is click on the link in the description to grab your spot. So it's really important to detach from the outcome. Now, I know that this makes a lot of people nervous, this idea of detachment. So I've actually done a deeper dive video on why detachment is so important, which I'll link to on the screen. But people get scared that detachment means not caring. And that is the opposite. It's the opposite of what detachment is. Detachment is so important, especially when it comes to relationship repair. But detachment is not caring. Detachment is important because you care so much. So like I said, I'm not going to deep dive into this, but if you want a deeper dive on detachment from the outcome and understanding why that's so important to repair a relationship, I'll leave you with that deeper dive video and I will see you over there.